All right. I think we can start now. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our learning hour session. I'm Adib, and I'm delighted to be your host for today's session. We are honored to have our expert trainer, Mr. Saeid Alizadeh, who will be sharing valuable insights on from raw data to quick insights with pivot tables. All right. Wait a minute. Give me a second. Alright, during this session, please feel free to ask questions in the chat box below. Mr. Said will address all questions from time to time or at the end of the session. As a reminder, please keep your microphones muted throughout the session to avoid any disruption. Without further ado, I hand over the floor to Mr. Said.
Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning. Let me share my slide with you guys. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, From Raw Data to Quick Insight with the Pivot Tables. My name is Saeid, and I'm a Microsoft Excel trainer. If you ever been overwhelmed by rows and rows of data, this session is going to show you how to summarize it with just a few clicks, without any complex formula needed. Let me quickly walk you through what we will cover today. First, we will understand what pivot tables are and how they help us. Then we will dive into how to prepare your data, build your first pivot table, explore its powerful feature and visual elements, and even use AI tools to explain the result. If you haven't worked with a pivot table or not much experience with it, you are in the right place. Before we can create a pivot table, we need to make sure our data is in the right format. This is what we call pivot table ready data. That means the data is laid out in a table format. Every column has a clear header like date, region, product, amount, and there are no merged cells, and we avoid blank rows or inconsistent formatting. Common mistake I see is merge headers, total, manually type at the bottom, or blank columns. These are easy to fix. If your data is clean, Excel will reward you with a super smooth pivot table creation. Let's begin by understanding the pivot table. A pivot table is one of the Excel most powerful tools. It helps you to summarize, analyze, explore, and present large amount of data. And the best part is you don't need to write any formula. Think of the pivot table like a magic lens. You give it rows and rows of messy data, and in just a few clicks, it gives you a clear, useful summary. Whether you want to know total sales by region, average performance by product, a pivot table does the heavy lifting for you. It especially helps you when you have a long list of data. For example, you have 10,000 rows of transactions. You can use a pivot table to answer questions like, what's the total sales per product? Which month had the highest revenue? We will explore all these steps shortly, but keep this in your mind. A pivot table turns long data into smart summaries, fast and formula-free. Let's clarify a question many Excel users have. What exactly is different between a table and a pivot table? An Excel table is a way to organize your data. It gives you a handy feature like a filter button, an auto-expanding formula. When you enter a formula in one row, Excel fill it down for you. It's great for data entry, cleaning, and basic sorting or filtering. But a pivot table is a powerful tool used to summarize and analyze your data. It helps you group, total, count, and filter your data, all without writing a formula. It's great when you want quickly answer a question like, how many units did each product sell? What's the total sales per region? If you think of your data like a groceries, an Excel table is like organizing your groceries by type on a shelf. A pivot table is like your receipt that tell you how much you spend by category, store, or date, and it summarize it instantly. Let's jump in and create our first pivot table together. I will share my, let me stop sharing this and share the Excel file that I prepared for this. Okay. So this is the Excel file that we have. This is the list of the product sales that we have. It contains a date column, region, product, sales percent, units sold, unit price, categories, and amount. The first thing that you have to do is to clean your data before you start creating a pivot table. Few things that you have to look first. First, you need to find if there is any blank rows or blank columns. You have to delete this blank column or rows first. After that, you have to check your column header. You need to have a meaningful column header. It cannot be column 1, column 2, or etc. Right? So we need a column, meaningful column headers. And after that, you're going to check the formats, right? Format means the data type that is under on that columns. And also you look for the errors for the empty rows or columns or empty cells that we have. We are going to fix some of this together, right? Before we start creating our pivot table. The first thing here, I have a date column and it shows the time as well, right? So very easy, you can format these cells, right? And you can choose a date for it. Select how you want to show these dates, right? So I want to show it at the by year, month, and day. I have three, 1, 2, 3, 4 column that is the text, right? First thing I'm going to do to figure out if there is an empty column or not, empty cell or not. I can see here some of them have empty. So we can very easily identify them by using the filter, right? Let me just, right? So we use the filter here. You can find, so in region, we don't have any blank. So you can see here, there are some blanks here, right? So we have to replace this blank by something meaningful, right? And how about the groceries? Groceries doesn't, I mean, the category doesn't have the blank cells. All right, so only these two. So what I'm going to do is to select these two, go to the home, then we are going to replace. So replace the blank with unknown, right? And replace all. So everything become replaced, right? And then the next thing is I'm going to give this a format. I mean to give them the type of data supposed to see here, right? After that, I'm going to check my units sold. And you can see here there's a blank amount here. How about the unit price? It doesn't have, right? Let's check here. So this one also doesn't have this column amount. So the good thing is we can actually get the unit price from dividing amount by unit price. So those blank it can be filled, right? If you don't have, then suggestion is either you delete it or some cases maybe you can put average or you can put the node. So it depends, right? So your objective, but here, because it's a unit, the number of the unit it sold, and we have the unit price and amount, we can basically very easy figure it out, right? So what we do, I just select this column, and then again, I go to the find select. go to special, right? So this is another tools that we have in Excel. Very easily we can clean this, okay? Find all the blank in this column, right? So this is the blank one. There are a few blanks. So all the blank is actually highlighted, right? So I put the formula here. What is the formula? So is 30,000, which is the 3,000, which is the amount, right? Divide by the price for that product. Don't press enter. You have to, because if you press enter, is only the formula will be applied to this cell. We want to every cell that is highlighted get this formula, right? The copy this formula in it. So we press Control Enter here. So all our cell will be have this formula. All those that are void or null will be filled with this formula, right? So you can see that all this amount is, we don't have any blank amount anymore here. Okay, so this is one of the way that you can do. Another way is actually you can create another column and use the same formula to create this similar column as a unit cell, right? So now our data actually is ready. But before we go further, I want to first select the type or data type or format for the column that I have. For these two columns, also I will put accounting, right? So accounting is used to for those columns that have a amount that is related to the currency, something is sold, tax, no discount, all this amount can be used accounting format. Okay, so now our sheet is ready. So I put the name for this sheet data. Okay, right. Now it's very easy from here to create a pivot table. What we need to do, we go to the Insert tab, and there is a pivot table from table or range. See that very easy. It understand that we have a table here, right? So you understand we have a table. So basically is put a frame around it, right? And then where we want to put our the pivot table in a new sheet. I want to go to the new sheet basically, right? So I select the new sheets and let's click OK. Right. So this is a simple pivot table, right? At the right side, you can see there is a pivot table field. You can see all your columns. So that's why you need to have a proper column header here. So you understand which column you're going to use in a pivot table, right? So it cannot be column 1, column 2, column 3, right? So that is not descriptive. And then you have these fields here at the right side, which you're going to drag your column inside them, right? So for the first one, very simple one, right? I'm going to put the region in the row, and then amount, I put it into the value. Very fast, your first pivot table is created here, right? So basically, we have a straightforward pivot table summarizing the total sales by region here, right? So each row in this pivot table represents a sales region, and the sales amount column shows the total revenue generated by that region across the full data set, right? So this is what we have here. All right. So now after this, I'm going to create the next one, right? So for creating the next one, maybe first I change the name here, sum of the amount. Well, it's actually applied as sum automatically, right? Aggregate function sum on it, on our amount. So I'm just going to change this to total sales. It's nicer to have this, right? Total sales. And you can see here the formula that is applied to the column is a sum, right? So it changed to the total sales here. Going to copy this. Very easy. I can actually create the next one, right? And then for this one, I want to drag the category under the region, right? So you can see the next pivot table is created. In this pivot table, we show the region and it divided or broken down by the category of the product that we have, right? So here, the best thing is you give each one of your pivot table name, sales by region and category, right? So because we are going to use this later, this one is the just simply is sales by region, right? Okay, so you can see this one is a layout is a compact, right, format. We can actually change this layout for our table here, pivot table here, go to the design, report layout, and then I can use the outline. So this is actually showing much more nicer. And you can actually see that east is broken down, or each region is broken down to the accessories and electronic, which is the product categories that we have here. Okay, well, right after this, we are going to create one more. And this time I'm going to, let me see. Okay, I'm going to copy this one more time, right? And then in this one, I'm going to get the region out. I have the category here, and then underneath I put in the product here, right? So for these, we have the cells, right? So we have the cells by product and region. Okay, so this is one more. So you can see the value of the sales for each product and the category as well, right? Across all these 3 years that we have from 2023 to 2025 in different region that we have, right? Next, I'm going to create another one which will show you the, I'm going to copy this one more time. So whenever you want to copy the pivot table, if you want to copy pivot table, create pivot table, you have to copy the whole pivot table, right? And here, I'm going to drag out the region, drag out the category. So for these, I want to bring the date to the rows, right? And bring the year to the column. I don't need to have quarter and the date as well. Just keep the year and a month, right? So field setting, let's change this to the year. Don't want to have, right? Just years is good. And this one, I'm going to change the name for the month date to the month only. And it's much more clear, right? So here you have a closer look at the amount of the sales that we have by each month. And it broken down by the years, right? 2023, 2024, and 2025, right? So you can easily compare the performance across the year here, month by month, right? So one more I can create for you, and maybe, yeah, we can have time. We can create one more here. So I'm going to copy this one more time. Right? So this time I want to bring the salespeople here, right? So I have the salespeople bring down. Okay. So in the salespeople, you can see there is an unknown, yeah? Those people that the name is not mentioned there. Maybe you want to group them together, right? So this is very easy. You can actually group your data, your rows in one column based on the specific title or based on the specific objective that you have. Very easy. Right click, group, and then you can change the group name to, maybe I put here the main team, right? And keep that, the next one is unknown, right? So you can see that your main is broken to the main team and unknown. And for the main team, you have all those salespeople here. You can see here there is a salesperson too. I want to actually change this also to the sales group. Instead of salesperson two, I put it here sales group. It is nicer and more descriptive, right? So we have the sales group, main team unknown, salespeople or salesperson, and the total sales for each one of them. Okay. You can basically have another way to show, can actually, if you like, you can show the, so let me just give a name first before the next one. I put here the sales, okay, sales people, salesperson. This one, very fast. Sales by month and year. Right. Now, I'm going to show you another thing that is help you a lot to explain your data, which is maybe you want to know the three top product based on the sales that you have, right? So I don't need to have a category here. So these are the sales by product that we have. And here I want to show the top three, right? So I can very easily type here three based on the sales, right? Oh, this is my mistake, right? Top three, right? So we have the sales. This is the top three products. Sales, right? So far, basically, we have these top three products. We divided the sales by the categories and the product, by the region and the category, and year and month, right? So let's make this wrap this up, and then we change the name for this sheet to the calculation, right? And then we are going to create some visualization. To create a visualization here is so easy. You just need to click on any of these pivot table and then go to your insert, choose the pivot chart, right? For example, for the first one, I'm going to use the column to show the region and also the based on the region and the category we have. Maybe I take out the bottom at the top. There we go, and change this is the sales by region and category. Right. You can bring this to your left side, right? Okay. So for the next one, maybe we go for this chart, which I'm going to put another one, which is I'm going to use a line chart here for this. Normally, for this kind of data that is showing the performance during the time, the line chart is the best. So hide all those buttons, maybe add the title here. So this one is the sales by so this one is the sales by month broken by year, right? I just put simply a year, right? You can keep the same format as the previous chart that we have, right? And here also you can maybe add a trend line. Okay, so you can have a trend line here. For example, for each one of this line, you can have a trend line. So first I choose for 2025. So you can see the trend line is a downward. You can actually have one for the 2024. So you can easily compare them with each other, right? Okay, so normally what we do, uh, you can basically uh, copy. I don't keep the visualization here, the chart. I don't keep the charts in this sheet normally. I copy them to another sheet. Basically, I use one for the report. I create one sheet for the report, and I copy these two, Control X, or just cut them and bring them to the new sheets here, right? So I don't need to show them together. So you can basically create for each one of your visual that is needed. You can create one charts here, and then you bring them to the report page. For example, I can actually create one more chart for these, and I can maybe use the pie chart for this, right? So use this, then you can Control X and bring it to your report page, right? So this one also, let's hide all those unnecessary buttons. Right, this is the sales by region. Okay. Right. For example, this one I can actually put some data label, or maybe data callouts is more clear, right? And you can create some, you can put some slicer. Slicer actually are very useful tools when you give your audience the chance to actually filter your data. So you can create one slicer. For example, you want a slicer based on the year. You want to have a slicer by the salespeople that you have, or you want to have the slicer by, for example, okay, I just put maybe by the like you product, and also I bring one with region, for example. Okay, I create three slicers here. So the region, put it on the top here. Then we have the product, right? So I don't like actually to, if this is nicer, this way to show them. And maybe this one here, right? So we have all our slicer ready here. Okay, so for example, now if you actually use the slicer, maybe some of them doesn't show or reflect the filtration. So the reason is you need to actually go to the report connection and connect the slicer to the specific pivot table that we have. So that's the reason we need to have a proper name for each one of our pivot table, right? So I connect all the slices except to the top three product. I exclude that because the slicer might affect the amount that it show. I want to keep that amount for all, you know, for all the data that I have. All right, so simply I select the table that are connected to my slider. So if you can see East, so this is for the East, all this data that have here. So all your, everything actually is going to change here, right? And for example, you want a laptop in 2024 in all the region that we have. So this is the cells that you have, right? Or if you go to the printer, then it's going to be the result for the printer in 2024. If you bring everything, then basically it will show you all those data that in 2004 only, or in the north region that we have. Okay, so that's about to creating the pivot table and also visualizing your data, right? So now the good thing about here is basically you can, if you want to have in the proper interpretation, now there are many tools that you can use basically. For example, here I can copy this and then paste it in the ChatGPT, or you can actually paste it in your Copilot and ask to give you insight about this, right? So what we're going to do, I'm going to bring this. Let me bring my ChatGPT here. Just give me a second. I copied this already. And what we need is to, let me share my ChatGPT. So what we're going to do is just copy our data here, right? And then we just need to type here, summarize. Top 3 insight from this data, right? Then it actually explain it for you. So you can use AI to help you explain your data basically. So it just take a few seconds and it's actually give you all those information, right? The 3 insight that you need to show what you have here, right? So what you want to show and what you want to present, right? And it helps you to give you a very insightful, proper script that you need to give to your audience or to your supervisor or subordinate. Okay, so that's the fun bonus actually, using AI to interpret our pivot table. Okay, so to wrap up, basically, we we started with the raw data, built a pivot table, explored the features and the visuals, and even use AI to explain the result. So the best practice is always clean your data first, use the meaningful headers, right? So avoid using the column 1, column 2, etc. Play around. Pivot tables are meant to be explored, right? So you have to explore the different, creating the different pivot tables, and also you can use the chart to visualize them. And that's all. And thank you for joining. And I would be happy to do a quick demo or clarification, right? So if you like, you can ask your questions. Mr. Adib actually will let me know the questions.
All right, maybe let's take a moment if there are any question from our participant.
Sure.
If the participant want to ask any question, maybe you can, if you don't want to type, you can open your mic as well to straight away ask the question. It seems like there is no question
Okay. All right.
from
Okay.
participant.
So thank you very much. And big thanks to Excel Academy for hosting this. All right. If there is any question, you can actually send to the Excel Academy. I would be happy to answer and clarify them.
Oh, sorry. We have one question from Hao Seok Hoon. Mr. Said, what is data scientist mean? Does it matter in finance field?
Okay. So basically, uh, data scientists, basically, it's those people that actually working with the data, right? So we have the few terms. One is the data analytics, and another one is the data scientist, right? So basically, uh, data analytics, those people using the tools like a Power BI, using the Excel, right, to analyze the data, right? So this will become a data analytics. But data scientist actually is one level after this. Basically, after you analyze your data, you visualize your data, right? So these people basically are going to come up with applications. They coming with the more further detail and giving the insight, meaningful insight and the knowledge from the data, right? Using the statistics, computer science, and the domain experience that they have, right? So the breakdown is the data collection, cleaning, data, and also using the data analytics tools, right? And programming, they're actually data scientists using the different programs like the Pythons, R, SQL, right? So basically to find the algorithm or to clean the data or even to visualize the data, right? And this is going to be used in a different application like the business application, healthcare, finance, and the technology. So to wrap up, I can say the data scientist is about asking the right question, analyzing the data, and find the answer, right? Using the answer to solve the real-time world problems.
All right. I hope that's answer the questions. If there is any more question. All right, sure. We can try set up next session with Said. Maybe we can highlight VBA, SQL, and Power BI as well.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I think there's no further questions from our participant. Maybe I can. Oh, sorry. We have a question from Farah Wahida. There's so many tools for data, right, sir? So how do we choose which to use?
What is that again? There are too many tools for?
Data. Maybe Miss Farah can explain more tool for data to use what to cleaning data maybe or the right software. Is it right? The right software to use?
We can say the right tools or
Mm-hmm.
right softwares, but to
Software.
do what actually? To clean the data?
Yeah, like main purpose to use
What is the main purpose? Is it to clean the data?
for analytics and visualization.
Okay, for analytics and visualization, I can say the best tools so far I use myself is the Power BI basically. It's very easy, very powerful, and basically Power BI have so far I find it the best tools to analyze and uh, to actually transform the data and also to visualize the data. Very easy to use and user friendly. After that, you can say Tableau. Excel, these are the next in the line, actually, in my personal experience.
All right.
But if you talk about, for example, because there are different type of the data, all right? If you talk about the structured data, it can be the Excel, Power BI, Tableau, all those is for visualizing the data, right? But if you're talking about unstructured data, so we can talk about the Pythons, for example, where you can Python programming, right?
Mm.
Or, for example, Python programming. So it depends.
Mm. Miss Farah said she has no coding knowledge, so she is wondering which is more relevant to use for
Yes.
analytics and
So
visualization.
so so the best is using the I believe that the data she
Power BI.
uses structured data. Yeah, Power BI I think is
Mm.
the best one to use.
All right. I hope they answer your question, Miss Farah Wahida. All right. Next question. From How Hun. How does we can learn to use AI in our data analyze job?
Oh, I so this is actually is a very uh
Like which course?
yeah. So I think Mr. Adib, you can actually tell better, right? In your company,
Yeah.
what kind of course you have. You can actually show them the AI courses that you have.
Yeah, true, true. Like
Yes.
Excel Academy also offered related training and course to help you for for your data analyst job. All right, I think sure. I think I can start with the conclusion for today's session. Let me share my screen first.
Stop sharing for some.
Yeah, okay. Wait a second, let me share my screen. All right. All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Said, for the excellent presentation. Within this short time, we gain new knowledge and a lot of input on Excel and data itself. Okay. For those who have registered through the NTW portal, your attendance have been recorded and your status will be marked as completed within 24 hours. In the meantime, please do not withdraw your application. To generate your certification, please do complete the TE assessment on the portal itself. As for the video recording of this session, it will be available on our YouTube channel at Excel Academy Malaysia within 24 hours as well. Alright, now let me inform you guys about public training offered by Excel Academy. If you are interested to enroll, and for those who asking to learn more about AI, to learn to upskill yourself in data or related training, you can see which course you can join. Alright, we have Microsoft training from basic level until advanced level. And then we also have Microsoft Excel for data analytics, Microsoft Power BI with data for data analysis. Microsoft Excel and Power BI are both incorporating AI. And then we also have digital marketing training, digital marketing masterclass, digital marketing professional, social media marketing, and then we have AI tools training, AI tools for content creation and marketing, as well as enhancing office productivity. We also have creative tool training, CapCut for video marketing, and lastly, Canva AI Bootcamp, optimizing your design. I think that's basically it for today's session. Thank you all for your participation and have a great day. Once again, thank you so much, Mr. Said.
You're most welcome. Thank you very much. Have
Thank
a
you,
nice day,
Jisai.
everyone.
Great sharing from you. Thank you.